Yes, welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Matters Thursday. I'm your host, Dr. Monikah Ogando. And today we're going to be talking about, is sensuality a gateway to your spirituality? And if you've been here for any amount of time, then you know that what the answer is. A better question would probably be, how is your sensuality a gateway to your spirituality, right? Because it's a foregone conclusion that it is. And so today, I want you to get centered as you are coming into the room. I want you to get centered and notice your physical presence. Notice where you're sitting. Notice how you're sitting. Are your shoulders hunched over like geos? Is your eyesight hunched over like geos? How's your breathing? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Where is the position of your tongue in your mouth? Is it all the way on the roof? Is it at the bottom? What are your hands touching? Are your hands touching your face, your legs, your waist? Are they at the desk? Are they on the steering wheel? Are you, maybe as you're listening to us, you are driving somewhere? Maybe you're drinking something on your way somewhere? Where are your feet? Where are your legs? Where is the seat of your body? Like, where are you sitting? How are you sitting? Is your back straight? Are your shoulders relaxed? Is your neck holding up the crown that is your head? Where are you looking? How are you breathing? What are you tasting? And what are you listening to besides just me? Maybe you are at the gym and not only do you have me in your headphones, but perhaps the gym is playing some kind of music. Or if you're like our friend Rashida, you're over there concocting some stuff in your kitchen. Maybe you're making yourself some coffee or a smoothie, etc. When you come back to the present moment, you'll notice your senses. You'll notice what your eyesight is enjoying, what your auditory sense is enjoying, what your taste, what your sense of self, right? Your physical presence. And every time that we talk about spirituality, unbeknownst to us, or perhaps as an unspoken expectation, we come back to the present moment. And that's all our senses invite us to do, is to come back to ourselves, to the present moment. Sometimes when you hear the word sensuality, you may ascribe sexual connotations to that, which isn't inaccurate. It's just incomplete. It's not just about sexuality. It's also just about the way you experience the physical world. Your senses help you to experience the physical world. Children, babies, infants are very sensual because all they have is their senses to experience the physical world. It's how we develop our survival instincts, right? And so that's why when you see an infant, they're almost always putting something in their mouth. They're always almost always touching something, using their tactile sense. Like, how does this feel in my hand? And if it feels okay in my hand, let me see how it feels in my mouth. And that's how I will determine if it's safe, if it's edible, if it's fun, etc. And so we develop some social and cognitive constructs that tell us what is and what isn't appropriate. Personal space, whether it's okay to hug someone or kiss somebody or put their nose in your mouth. Have you ever had a baby? You're holding a baby and they're just kind of like lean over to your mouth, to your face, and they just put your nose in their mouth. And you're like, okay, okay, don't eat me. No, just me? Okay, all right, fine. I'm the only one having fun with babies around here. But it's almost like they want to experience the whole world through their senses, through their taste, through their touch. They're looking at you intently, right? It's like the eye contact of a baby is freaking insane, man. They're so fierce, right? And somewhere along the line, we dim that. Somewhere along the lines, like we don't hold eye contact as long. When we eat, it's like we're rushing through it to the next thing instead of savoring it, instead of letting it rest in your mouth before you chew, before you swallow, or doing a little dance. I don't know. I still do it. I don't know about you. But when I'm eating something good, knows this because we've had shared meals before. And sometimes when I have something in front of me that I'm really enjoying, I will do a little because I'm enjoying my food. And so I want you to think about what is available to you because you are present to your senses. This is the part that we don't necessarily think about in this culture when we think about God, when we think about the divine, when we think about um, the ethereal. We get so serious about it, right? It's like, oh, God, ooh. It's supposed to be reverent. It's supposed to be, respect. It's supposed to be philosophical and deep. And sometimes God is just as basic and simple and elegant as the soil that you put in your hands when you're gardening. Maybe the soil feels cold, or maybe it feels moist, or maybe it feels compact, or maybe it feels rich and thick. And that kind of experience is just as much spiritual as a hymn in a church with great acoustics that battle your bathroom acoustics when you're singing. But see, even then, we're talking about the auditory sense, right? And so, a lot of the ways in which we not only interpret the world, but the way that in which we metabolize the divine is through our senses. And so, yes, we know that our senses are a gateway to our spirituality. My question for you is how? How do you interpret, digest, metabolize the divine through your senses? Maybe you have a favorite sense. For some of us, it's auditory. We love listening to music. We love listening to podcasts and lectures. And maybe even just when we go out on a walk, we listen to nature, the birds singing, the leaves of the trees rustling, dancing with the wind, and so forth, right? And so I want you to just be present to that. Walk around today, just noticing your senses, being aware, being present to, dropping into your senses and what your senses may be telling you. And maybe not just the five physical senses, but also the remaining three ethereal senses. Your sense of space, your sense of time, your sense of presence in that space and time, the space you take, right? Especially in relation to another. So there was I'm not going to tell you with whom and I'm not going to tell you how long ago, but there was a time when I was in bed with someone, um, and I woke up and they woke up and they looked at me and I looked at them and he said, "Wow, what an amazing morning after face you got." Right? And I said, "You too. And you know what else? Your breath is clean." And we just had a good laugh because it was like the morning. And it was the first morning that we had spent together. And it was so intimate and so joyful and so childlike and so just like exploring another human being without expectations or without like the self-consciousness that sometimes happens after um after you get to know someone, right? And so it was like, no, it had nothing like that. And it was just so joyful and fun and curious and What if we approached our own divinity that way? What if we approached it with pleasure and with joy and curiosity and a little bit irreverent, maybe? Just like we do our senses, just like when you go to the kitchen and you're cooking something and you smell it, and then you go to the pot and you put a little bit of a teaspoon or a tablespoon of it in your mouth just to see if how's the salt, how's the temperature, do I need to put something else in here? What if we explored our spirituality that way? Right? That it's like, oh, okay, it's got a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of song, a little bit of tradition. What else? What else would make this dish really delicious for me in terms of experiencing the divine? Can you imagine if we had that co-creative dance with the divine in that way? Can you imagine that that's what we are already doing? And we're just putting words to it so that we can experience it at a more deep level, a more aware level. Ah, qué show. I'm having fun with this conversation. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Like, how are your senses a gateway to your spirituality? How do you experience your own spirituality? Do you use your eyesight to look at nature, to look at other people? Do you use your auditory sense to listen to songs or conversations? Do you use your tactile sense? I'm a very, if you know anything about the five love languages, right? The one of them is physical touch. And that's one of my primary love languages. I'm a very affectionate person. I'm like when I'm talking to somebody, I'm always like touching them or whatever. I actually have to hold that back because the American culture isn't as touchy-feely as the Latin American culture. And so sometimes you've got to be conscious of those differences. But how do you experience your sensuality? How do you experience your spirituality through your sensuality? I'm so curious. Maria, you got your hand up.
Good morning. Thank you.
Morning.
I just sent you a message in the text saying I love that and thank you. What I'm present to is that I believe it's happening every sacred step of the way, 24 hours a day, 8 days a week, and I'm not
Mhm.
always aware of it. And so
Mm,
that's why I'm really loving this is that I can put it on the front burner and like be conscious of it, aware of it, and have fun with it. Like you were saying, spend the day today doing that. Like, why not spend the rest
yes.
of our lives doing that? You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Beautiful.
a I'm a romantic optimist, and I think really pretty much everything is romance. And
Oh, I love that.
thank you, thank you.
I love
And
that.
really, for me, one of the biggest ways is through music and dancing, but most of all
Oh,
through music.
yes.
I say rhythm is life. And so coming from New Orleans, the rhythm of New Orleans is like no other rhythm.
Mm,
So I bring that with me wherever I go. So thank you for the question. Thank you for everything you've said. I just want you to know I am deeply grateful.
nice. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Maria.
You're welcome.
Gio says, seems like my senses are my only access. Pretty much everything is romance. For me, pretty much everything is spiritual. Oh, say more, Gio. I want to hear more about that.
You want me to say more about that?
Gio, he said, for me, pretty
Leo.
much
Oh,
everything is spiritual. Everything is romance. Que novela.
I think um, at this point, uh, it, it, a bit of what Maria Sangria was pointing to, at this point, I can see or have experienced and witnessed enough evidence that to say with a certain conviction for myself that everything is spiritual at this point. The
Mm-hmm.
breakdowns are spiritual. Is my access to spirituality, and my closest door are my breakdowns, are my
Mm-hmm.
failures, if you will, my unfulfilled expectations, and um, and the moments where I stop and grab myself, my present moment, as you did at the beginning of the call or of this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And when I allow myself to do that, my senses give me access to to the eternal present.
Yes.
And when I get connected to the eternal present, it's spiritual, it's romantic, it's all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it from in those moments, I no longer have the future as something I need to go to work on to create a better future, if you will. It all stops. And it's difficult for me at that moment not to be in love with the person in front of me, for
Mm-hmm.
the love with the possibility of that person. And I'm going to say it this one time, but I'm going to deny it the next time
Okay,
somebody.
go for it. Go for it.
Every now and then, people close to my life says, I think the thing about you is it seems like you could fall in love with anyone,
Mm-hmm.
and you could love anyone. You could fall in love with them, and it's true. And it's true, but I always deny it. Only today I won't deny it. But
Okay.
it's true. I do.
You heard it
In
here
those,
first, everybody.
there's a lot of validity in that. And what I mean is that when I am present, I do fall
Yeah.
in love with the spirit that they are.
Yeah.
But
I
but
totally
I
get that.
can't completely allow myself to experience their. If I wanted to, and if it wasn't inappropriate, it's an easy transition to experience their touch, to experience their tenderness. It's easy transition, and but it does require that kind of being, that kind of way of being present.
Yes.
And it's not naughty, it's just
Surrendered.
spiritual. It's just surrender. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say.
I totally have that in common with you, Gio. So I totally get it. I mean, it sounds funny, right? It sounds like, ooh, like you said, I'm gonna deny it later or whatever. But the only reason why we would deny it later is because some people have ownership of our physical space based on relationship commitments that we've made and so forth. So I totally get it. I totally get what you're saying. Elishiva, welcome back. I'm so happy to see you.
Hi, thank you for the welcome. This is a topic after my own heart. I was like, ooh, wee.
Hmm.
Um, so I've been having a grand time. Um, Anything that I go through and being the spiritual woman, sage, all the stuff that I am. So I've been like, so 2 days within the last month or so. One day it was like so many good things was happening at one time, like boom, 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 boom. And I just imagined like I was receiving multiple orgasms. I was like, ooh, we,
Hmm.
okay, spirit, put it on me. Yes, right. And just kind of being this kind of, I see it like this sacred rendezvous with, my life experiences.
Yes.
And then, like a few days later, I felt like, not a few days, a few weeks later, I felt like I was getting a spanking.
Hmm.
Like so much stuff was happening, like that was just not working out. And at one point, I felt myself getting angry. And then I thought, wait, let me just feel into this. How can
Mm.
how can I like align with it. And I was like, all right, universe, I'm getting a spanking today. I got it. Let me just surrender and take this spanking.
Hmm.
And I kid you not, like I felt better, and so when I think of sensuality, I really think about really leaning into whatever the feeling that is coming up
Mm.
and just allowing it to kind of move through me and just kind of even just kind of like satiate in it, whether it be joy or sadness or, any emotion in between. So
Yeah,
um, I've been having a good time, um, just embracing it.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Hmm.
Yes, if we're gonna take the credit, if we're gonna take the highs, we're gonna take the lows as well. That's part of the ride, right? I love it. Maria, you're back. Come on, tell me
Yes,
what you got.
yes, thank you so much. So, Elisheva, I acknowledge you for being a boss chick, for being a teacher, teaching people twerking. I came to your twerking class and you gave me access to the divine, to my spiritual essence. So I want you to know that I will always be deeply grateful for that. And now I look at everything as what you say, a sacred rendezvous.
Mm-hmm.
So from my heart to your heart, thank you so much, Elishaba. And Geo, what makes me a romantic optimist is that I am in love with everyone. And I'm on a sacred rendezvous. So to sit over here and hear you say, if someone asks me, or maybe another day I'm going to deny it, you may want to consider giving something up, embracing it, and just be and do it and continue every sacred step of the way. And I love you and I always will, Geo.
Awesome. I've been telling you people that twerking is a sacred practice. I'm glad that Elishaba is here so that she can confirm. Because I've been telling y'all and y'all don't want to believe me. Now we have
Oh,
a tantric teacher to confirm it. Uh-huh. See,
there you go.
I wouldn't steer you wrong.
Yes.
Thank you, Maria.
Okay, I could not say that with Elishaba and with Geo. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Maria. I wanted to say something really quick too to Gio. I I actually felt that way for a long time. Like people would say, "Oh, you wear your heart on your sleeves," and then I started feeling embarrassed about it. And then I realized, you know what? I am a lover, and it is easy for me to love. And I'm learning to just embrace it like, yeah, I meet a guy today. I love you today until you give me a reason not to love you or not to trust you. But it took me a very long time to own it. So I love Maria that you brought in this space, owning it. And what you when you shared Geo, I thought, gosh, I can relate. And I just
Mhm.
think in the world, we get taught like this narrative of we got to be this like strong and have all these armors and guards around our hearts. But at the core, I love Dr. Monica that you talked about babies. Like at the
Mhm.
core of who we are, it's like love and expressiveness. And when you see babies or toddlers when they're excited, they don't care. Like they will just be so open inside of their loving expressions. And I feel like that's who we are at the core. So I'm so grateful for you presencing that to us, Maria, and Dr. Monica, you bringing up the babies, and Geo, you sharing what you share, because I'm having the experience now, like, oh yeah, like I want to continue to embrace this part of me and not feel like I need to kind of hide it because,
Mhm.
I feel like we're lovers,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
part of who we are. So beautiful. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yes. Good stuff. Chase, I saw your hand up and then it went down. Do you still want to share?
Yes, it's just so much juiciness happening here. I was just letting it like slide through and just roll and roll
Yes.
through. I was like, wow, I might not get in. This is a lot of stuff I need to process. But Grand Rising, everyone, thank you for these amazing comments and words and visuals. It's just so beautiful. Um, you know, I definitely consider myself a lover, a deep, deep, deep lover. And when I'm in love, it is like it's the highest of everything. It's the best. And, I find that as I allowed myself to be more vulnerable and someone had said, like, I think it was you said the highs and the lows, like when I released a lot of tears from my past relationship that was over a little while ago. And I just looked at myself and said, you have to love stronger the sensuality or as you were saying the spirituality and the connection between them two seemed to heighten, and as I got closer to the love of myself, I just noticed all these other things that came out of the woodwork, like babies staring at me longer and dogs coming up to me and just stopping in front of me, and I was like, I'm finally releasing those things on a higher level
Mhm.
where you know that thing that story you talked about waking up next to someone and then you're just there in the moment, and it's just whatever is happening then, the clarity of that is so powerful. And although that experience I haven't had in a while, I understand it. and I'm ready for it. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? Like you
Mm-hmm.
understand that, oh, that's where this love and the sensuality that you're cultivating is heading to, which is a really beautiful thing. And I, really quick before I go, I got a text message randomly from someone a couple weeks ago that was so complimentary and so reflective of who I see myself in the world out of nowhere. Like a long text just saying, do that thing you're doing. Keep doing it because I'm feeling that from you, from a love perspective, from a kindness perspective. And I was like, wow, what I'm
Mm.
feeling is emanating into the world. And that person just gave me the uh the affirmation of it. And it was the most beautiful thing. I was by myself and I clicked on it. I
Gorgeous.
was like, whoa, where did this come from?
Gorgeous.
So
Yeah.
thank you for this topic. I could talk about this for another hour. So I'm gonna leave now because it's just so good.
Okay,
But
well, I could just call you and then we could just riff.
we could talk whatever you want. And I like the new microphone. The microphone is hot.
Oh, thank you.
I'm a mic guy.
I have to find my stand for it so I don't have to just hold it like this, like a phallic symbol,
I
Lord.
got, oh wow. Okay, and I'm out. Thank you.
Rashida, you had something to share. I saw your hand up too.
Ground rising, everyone. Ground rising. Ah, Dr. Ogando, every Thursday, as a matter of fact, every Wednesday night when I go to sleep, I say I got to set my alarm clock because I don't want to miss any juice. I just love the topping that you put on my cake. I love vanilla flavor. I love. Listen,
Oh.
you
Bueno,
went
more
in.
chocolate with banana pudding, but okay, go ahead.
You went into the mango and you went into that. Oh my goodness!
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
I just love your topic. And Chase, my dear brother, thank you so much. I am in the essence of falling in love again. But first I went in, in.
Mhm.
I went and loved me, myself, and I. So was it
Mm.
only me, myself, and I? So that love that you are expressing and talking about is the love that I have for myself, the love that I have for everything I do. I always tell people, as a chef that I am, as a holistic eater that I am, I do not go into my kitchen if I am not going with a lot of love. And that love really expand to the intimacy of loving someone. So when you talk about loving someone and even connecting with spirit, you have to be really mindful and really full of gratitude. But when I say full of gratitude, is that the love that you have of being grateful is
Mhm.
you can see you can you I'm with my locks. I can see it at the end of my locks. That's how much love I can share with the planet, with the human, with the
Mm.
person that I encounter with any given person. I can relate my love and my gratitude when my German Shepherd look at me with his eyes and he can say, "Mommy, I love you, mommy." And I
Yeah.
turn on and I say to him, "I love you back."
Yes, beautiful.
That type of
I think
beautiful
animals are
love.
such a perfect mirror for us of that unconditional love, of that surrender, of that connection to our senses, because they don't have any kind of self-consciousness about it. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna lick this. Hmm? So what?
So, um,
Thank you, Rashida. I love that. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm so glad that you guys loved this conversation. I think sometimes we get so stuffy around spirituality and we forget that it's juicy like a mango, that it's decadent, that it's you can get drunk on God. Oh my God. And then of course translate that into the intimate connections that you have with other people and with nature and with your space and with yourself. So, yes, your love is palpable. Such a treat. I can't stop smiling listening to your share. Thank you, Elishua. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate you. Remember, of course, to love generously, laugh a lot, laugh loud, like guffaw. You know what I mean? Look that up. Look it up and you'll see that you already do guffaw. You just get subconscious about it and you taper it down. But please, let it rip. Give of yourself, your time, your energy, your attention, your eye contact, your naughtiness, like Gio alluded to earlier. Um, Eat more plant-based food, stress less, get yourself some sleep, at least 7 to 9 hours, depending on where you are in your season of the month. And if you don't have a season of the month because you are a penis holder, get you some. It's fun. And remember that exercise, twerking, is a Kundalini raising spiritual practice. Go ahead and do it in front of your mirror so you don't go out there and embarrass yourself. I know you're that's a priority for you. And we love you. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. So good to see you again.